getting absolute muscle there. At turn 1, that was an absolute disaster.
Oh, he spun!
Oh no! That's massive for Adam!
All over the rear bumper of Smith, mate. These guys are hit with each other like nothing we've ever seen before.
Lenocis pulls out to the outside. Here we go again.
AEST there, he's going to go for a move here. The two Ferraris in front of him.
Jeez went wide. Jesus
Oh!
Oh, good contact.
Oh, massive contact there.
This is going to be an incredible finish for these two.
The speed, the overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into
Oh.
turn 1.
There's contact there from Tracy that comes through on the way in. He tries to retwist and gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though in turn 1.
As he shoves it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh! What a move from GTR! Hello everybody, welcome back to Sector 1. We're here tonight for round 7 of the Sector 1 World Tour here at Laguna Seca in lovely California. We have a wonderful event schedule lined up for you tonight with our Group A week here. It is of course Division 1 and Division 3. This is our track map for tonight. It's 3.802 kilometers around 11 turns here. Qualifying goes for 10 minutes. The race is 30 laps. And the time of day for Division 3, late morning, and the time of day for Division 1 is at afternoon, as per always. And our track schedule for tonight is as follows. Division 3 kicking us off momentarily with their 10-minute qualifying session at 7 o'clock. And at 7:15, we have their race, and Division 1 starts us off at 8:15 with their race at 8:30. My name is Lenocis, and joining me in the commentary box tonight is your Division 3 race director, KarenLeashed. How are we doing tonight?
Yeah, not too bad. How's everybody doing tonight in the chat? It's been a bit of a short trip, if I'm honest, from one side of America across to the other. We were in the lush forests of the New York State at Watkins, Glen last round, and it's quite different here on the foothills of Monterey in California. Of course, home of the Concours d'Elegance and one of the biggest Concours events in the world. And very, very much looking forward to a track we haven't been to for quite a while in Sector 1. If I remember correctly, I think we were last here. First season of AGT a very long while ago. So that was a massive event as well. There was a heroic battle. I think it was between Brocky and Kenny Conamos way back in the day. But hopefully tonight we'll see a few more big battles, and can't wait to see who takes the top spot.
Yeah, so right before we get into things, we'll have a look at our team's championship, how things shape up as of last round out at Watkins Glen. Respawn Esports lead the way with 670 points over their sister team, Hooncorp, who is second in the standings. CP completing the top 3 in the teams. Kraken Esports in their second season taking P4 at the moment. Deeds Racing in 5th. Dadson in 6th. Obsession Motorsports takes 7th. Doghouse 8th. Brocky 5 Sim Racing takes 9th. Lightning Motorsport in 10th. Blacklight 11th. ISA 12th. Red Mist 13th. And Black Rose Racing coming up in last place there at the moment. And we'll have a quick look at our Division 3 points, how the standings are shaping up right before we duck into their race, their qualifying, I should say. As Bumcrack leads the way for Kraken Esports with 186 points over Boybegum. It's an 8-point gap, 178 for the CP driver. Freelix completes the top 3 for Respawn Esports. Budsy in P4 for ISA. Daz in 5th. for Deeds. Stranger in 6th, the sole doghouse driver in this pack. Gur in 7th for Dadson Racing. Carbonboy in 8th. Shizer 9th. Black Project 10th. Rex 11th. Killer on the Loose 12th. Prua 13th. And Sizzling Sausage 14th. And something else to mention on top of that is we're missing a couple of drivers tonight. Namely, I believe it is we're missing Shizer, Rex, Killer, Prua, and Sizzling Sausage from our pack today, unfortunately. So we have 9 drivers lined up on our grid tonight. Still enough to field a race, but just a couple absent in tonight's race. So any minute now, we should be able to kick things off. How's everything looking, Brent?
Well, I don't know. Like, I've been staring at my my ruined chassis from last round at Watkins, Glen, and I think I heard there was an Obsession Supra that got a bit ruined as well. But apart from that, speaking of Obsession, big congratulations goes to, of course, one of the guys you mentioned, Whitehips Pruski. Did an incredible job at Baskerville in Tasmania, I believe, this week. So very much looking forward to seeing how the rest of the teams go. Of course, 14 teams represented in our Sector 1 World Tour. And judging from practice, one guy that stands out above all else at the moment is Mr. Bumcrack. His Supra has just been on a whole different level of pace compared to those around him. But we haven't really seen Boybagum or Carbonboy really throw their weight around just yet, of which both those cars don't have much weight at all.
Absolutely. As Bumcrack, first man out on track tonight, the championship leader, followed by Boybagum, who is also P2 in the standings. So the top 2 in championship order as it is. Stranger, the third man on track at the moment, and I believe it's an updated livery for the Doghouse drivers this week. It's a lot darker colour scheme than we're used to seeing on those Doghouse cars. And yeah, it looks gorgeous. Just those hints of the colours that we've seen in the past rounds, and I mean, looking great. Done by the Stranger himself there. So very nice livery on the Alphas this week. Gur, the Dadson driver. Oh my goodness! I don't know whether anybody else saw that, but that Dadson car was flying through the air for a brief period. I'm not too sure that's the racing line there, Gur, but have at it. Picks up a half-second penalty for his troubles as well. The ice car in Budsy, 5th on the road, coming up to start his first flying lap. Got the win last time out, the debut win for the Icer outfit. Very happy with that. Great job to Budsy, but now he's got to come back in the GT4 car. Let's see if he can back it up in tonight's race. Felix, 6th on the road, was leading the championship earlier on, but's dropped a couple places down the order after a couple of performances that he's not too happy with at the moment. But Felix, very quick operator in this Div 3 field. I would imagine we'd see him up the top in this one. Absolutely. Carbonboy, 7th on the road for tonight in the Obsession 86. And looking at good out there at the moment. Good chance for some good points tonight for the number 26 car. Daz, the Deeds driver, also in the 86. Or should I say BRZ, as it is technically a BRZ, considering they are the Subaru manufacturer. Would you agree, Brent?
Yeah, that's agreeable, and because, well, the only thing really interchangeable about the old 86 and the BRZ is literally the badge and just some cosmetic details. Yeah, we picked it as a Subaru, so we can run the Subarus, and been a little bit of a nervous run, to say the least, for these Toyota 86/BRZ drivers. A lot of discussion around especially how the tyres will last here at Laguna Seca, and it bodes as well for the man that's just behind Daz in Black Project. We saw it at the Nürburgring especially. The Ferrari was very, very light on its tyre and fuel usage. So it'll be interesting to see if it has the same effect here as he goes sideways out of turn 11 there. He's looking quite strong at the moment. Had a little lapse for a little bit, but he's crossed his line in P8. He's looking for a big, big recovery tonight.
And as the first times start to come through, Bumcrack has a 4.5 gap over his championship rival at the moment, Boybagum, who only just pips Felix to the front row, or provisional front row of the grid, I should say, by 2 hundredths of a second there. So very, very tight up the top. with the exception being Bumcrack absolutely monstering the first lap here. Budsy, P4 for Ice, another strong first quali lap, and Carbonboy in P5. Great lap from Carbonboy in the 8.6, of course. Daz just behind, well, I wouldn't say just behind, he's over a second behind, but I would imagine Daz, Stranger, Black Project, and Guru, they're not representative laps at the moment, so expect those times to drop from those guys there. As we see Bumcrack running a little bit wide at the penultimate turn there.
Keep your eyes on Budsy though. He's purple through the final section. He's just about to hit turn 11 now. He was beautiful through the rainy curve just after the corkscrew there. This Porsche is definitely a dark horse this season and has had some very strong performances, especially in the hands of Budsy, who's looking very quick.
Oh, goes into P2. Great lap from Budsy. Bumcrack improves, and so does Boybegum. Slots himself in between the two championship rivals there, Budsy. 10th, give or take.
Black Project.
Nice lap from Black Project in the Blacklight Ammo Ferrari. We didn't get to introduce him as he was the last driver out on track, but I mean, Blacklight Ferrari's looking good as always. Slots himself into P5. Very good lap from
He's had a bit of a resurgence here in Division 3. Started off bang at Nürburgring, and then since then he's found a really good rhythm. And it's just, you can see in his confidence in the car. It's just increasing every week. And the Ferrari, it was a left field choice by Blacklight, but it's been a very good package indeed.
And also to mention, Stranger in the Alfa Romeo with its absolutely magnificent tyre and fuel wear, starting P4. That could be a potential race win at this stage. But it might not stay that way. 4 minutes left in this qualifying session.
Just checking through all the tyre wear as well. It's been the talk of the week in terms of how the cars are going to go in the race trip. And, well, it's advantage Alpha in that regard. Stranger's going to come across the finish line now. See what lap time he sets. It's not going to be, that's well down on his best, so 1:28.7. But these lighter, less powerful cars that are going to be more nimble around here.
Freelix to the top of the timing chance with a 27 flat. Wowee, what a lap from Freelix. 4/10 clear at the top of the timing charts. Mega lap.
He needs a big round. He needs a big round. He's had a bit of a bump in confidence the last couple of rounds, and he's looking to get a big result, get himself firmly back in that championship fight, because as it stands, Bumcrack with an 8-point lead over Boybegum, and Boybegum's been somewhat leading, I'd like to say, their CP resurgence. They've looked very strong the last couple of rounds, CP, coming back to the old CP style of getting out there and getting the absolute best out of their cars, and they've definitely shown it as Boybegum approaches the Fearsome Corkscrew, one of the most famous corners in the world.
As Bumcrack's purple as well.
Oh, not again. Surely not.
He needs to nail this part of the track. His qualifying session so far hasn't been the best for him through this part of the track. Looks like he's nailed it using all of the available track limits. Gets it slowed down for the final corner on the power early. Running as wide as he possibly can without picking up a penalty. On the run down to the finish line, is he going to go top? Oh, so close. Just 500 to Freelix at the top. It's far from over as well.
There's nothing in that. Just checking through who's actually pitted and who hasn't. Keep your eyes on Budsy now. He's on an out lap, but he's going to be able to do, I dare say, 2 final flies, whereas most of the guys coming in now will only be able to get 1 out.
Let's see what happens for Budsy as he's going to begin his flying lap. I reckon we jump on board for Budsy as he does this lap. Let's have a look. As he gets on the throttle out of the final corner, this is where the magic happens. Crosses the line to begin his first flying lap of his final stint. Using all of the available rev range at that white line at the 5 board. Gets the car turned in on the power, runs it wide. Oh.
He nailed the line through Andretti hairpin though. Entering turn 3, a little bit wide there. He would have liked more apex. We'll see how he goes. He's down by less than 100th, but still plenty of time here. He's going to have another flyer, as we said before, but his car, jeez, it's been a great package. It really has, all season.
Gets it turned in, using the camber to get on the throttle as early as possible, maximizing the exit on the run up the hill. Left-handed kink, it's a lot more difficult than it looks. Gets the car turned in as Boybegum goes P3. Now the corkscrew, the infamous corkscrew. Gets it stopped on the 3 board. Gets it turned in, using all the available... Oh, massive moment. That might be the lap gone for Budsy. And he's down by 2/10. Might be too much. As Carbonboy goes to P7. Oh, massive oversteer moment as he's gone. As Budsy spins it out with 2 corners to go on the lap. But he'll have one more crack at it.
Look, God, Brent, get it right. Keeping tabs on Mr. Bumcrack here. He has actually pitted this entire time, so he's actually on the same set of tyres that he started qualifying with, which is, I don't think we've ever seen that before in Sector 1 in terms of qualifying.
Yeah, it's weird. The current tyre model, the tyres get better when more temperature gets into them, but with that being said, they lose grip the more you go on. So it's sort of balancing your tyre temps with your tyre wear and staying out. I mean, he's purple at the moment, Bumcrack. So it might be the right strategy to do. And if he manages to get this pole position, which he might very well do on the run down to the line, this will be his final lap here for Bumcrack. Is he going to get there? No, he's going to be way down. 1.1. And Boybegum crosses as well down. Who will be the next car? It'll be Stranger, unable to improve there. And Carbonboy will be next. He is going quicker, 27.9, his current best lap, but unable to improve either. Gur will be the next car, but he has a penalty. So that's him done. And then I believe it'll be Budsy next across the line, who was one of the...
he's not going any faster. He's not going any faster, Budsy. He's 8/10 down, going out of the rainy curve.
Oh, hits that curve as well and almost loses it.
And Black Project's still running as well at the moment. Oh, Black Project heading into turn 11. Took a lot of exit. Got onto the dirt.
Let's see what he can do.
Just finishing up.
I think, no, he's going to be down. I think, yeah, Black Project's down. So that concludes the qualifying session.
Oof. That was, that was a hairy one. I, thought that Mr. Bumcrack might get it, but Felix has had something to say in terms of the pace, but we've already learned one big thing in terms of the strategy side of things. The Alfa Romeo is going to be very hard to beat in terms of tyre life. That second half of the stint on either tyre, it's going to be very, very fast. And while these guys lose out in terms of time, the Alfa's definitely going to be there or thereabouts the whole race. So there's a lot of strategy to come out of this one.
As we'll have a look at the official results for that qualifying session. Felix takes P1 with a 1:21.097. Bumcrack coming ever so close to the pole position, but nevertheless sits on the front row of the grid with a 1:27.144, just under 500ths away from that pole time. Boybegum takes the 3rd spot. And Budsy takes P4 on the grid, 2nd row of the grid. Stranger in P5. Black Project P6. Carbonboy in 7th. Gur 8th. And rounding out the end of the pack will be Daz in P9 tonight.
I reckon we get this started. There's a nice big button here next to a bottle of Shandong that I'm going to be sipping on during the race. That's come from... That's come from San Francisco, and I'm looking very forward to this. We're only down the road from San Fran, so a lot of the teams have spent a lot of time there in terms of just preparing the cars before they arrived at the track. But now that they're at the track and they are keen as a bean to get going, I think we should get underway. So I am going to start this race.
And the big red button has been clicked.
Oh, man. Drivers in chat, what do you think? What's your thoughts? Are we going to have a driver of the day? Who's going to fall off the track first? And will Pruski arrive 5 laps down and still win this race? We'll wait and see.
As they're lined up and waiting.
Oh, this is that tense moment when you're sitting in the car and then these lights come on.
5 lights, revs
boy.
rising. They're out and away we go, racing here at Laguna Seca. As Felix gets a great jump off the line, and so does the Alfa Romeo of Stranger. He gets bum crack into turn 1. Can he hold it into turn 2 now? Felix takes the inside line, and a little bit of contact there, but a little bit of push and shove. But everyone holds themselves true as Stranger's getting shoved out at the bottom there and drops all the way to the back of the pack. But the storyline at the moment is that Felix holds his pole position through the first sector as these guys continue on through the second sector now. Boybegum gets in front of Bumcrack there as they come up to turn 5.
The Stranger has been shuffled after that magnificent start all the way down to P8. These guys are playing for keeps very early on. It might be a shortened grid as we look down. Brewer and Black Project as they enter the left-hander on the Rahal straight. They were side-by-side heading through there, and that is a corner you cannot afford to be side-by-side at unless you've got nads of absolute titanium. That was a very, very brave move. They enter the fearsome corkscrew, sort of checking up drivers a little bit. Everyone's got through clean.
As these guys head into the final sector to complete the first lap of this 30-lap race. As a little bit of push and shove, but after that start, the real loser in that opening sequence was Stranger, because got shuffled out wide and lost a bunch of positions after he had P2 in his clutches. As now he's looking for a move on Carbonboy as they cross the start-finish line to start the second lap. Barreling down towards turn 2.
Oh, Black Project with a big, big moment. The rear. Oh, Bodsy's just been sent. Wait, Carbonboy's just punted the rear end. He's been able to gather it up. Stranger goes through, but Stranger has a half a second penalty. Carbonboy's been able to save it, but gee whiz, Bodsy just let him know about it. I don't know why Carbonboy that was. Oh, I don't know if he was trying to just pull it up and just braked a little bit late, or wanted to actually stop the rear engine of the Porsche Cayman, of course. A car that, yeah, is very, very capable. And it's just on early, isn't it? As they head up towards turn 6 now. Stranger's just got to put his head down a little bit. Might be seeing a little bit of red mist, but as the stint goes on, he has started on the mediums to let you know. He will come back to these guys in front, as the guys in front are going to start struggling.
Absolutely.
Checking through the field now to see, yeah, strategy-wise, the only one I can see who started on a soft compound is Mr. Bumcrack.
Oh, that's very interesting, because Bumcrack is currently sitting in P3.
Yeah, and he won't like that. The tyre wear around here is massive. We've been saying it for a little while tonight. He wants to make sure he can really sort of make those soft tyres last. He's definitely got the fastest lap of the race at the moment, the 28th lap. He's not really catching up to the two in front, Boybegum and Felix, as they're starting to close in a little bit. So is Felix already starting to suffer from tyre life problems, or is he just trying to manage those tyres, look after the car as best he can?
Well, there's two major strategies that are making themselves evident around this track. You're either going to be doing the one stop or the two stop. And I think most of these guys will be opting for the one stop just because fuel shouldn't be an issue. It's not a power track as much as the other tracks that we've seen. So fuel won't be an issue to do the two stop. I mean, one stop I should say. The only thing that might become an issue is if these guys cannot make their medium or soft tyres last. And I think potentially seeing Bumcrack on the soft tyres to start this race could be an indication telling us that he's going for the two stop, while everybody else might be trying to try their luck on the one stop. But we'll have to wait and see when we come across to the pit stop time.
Keeping the tabs on the top three at the moment. The gap between Mr. Bumcrack and Brewer himself is 2.7 seconds at the moment. Looks like Felix just wants to get it going, and he's not really doing himself any favours with Boybegum behind, who hasn't really dropped out of sight. Bumcrack though, starting to eye off P2. He's got to make these soft tyres count while he can. As they enter the end ready hairpin, he's looking very comfortable. Boybegum goes a little bit wide, but just able to cut back in front. One of those corners, you want to be able to sort of just break in as late as you can, but with the downhill section, you carry a lot of momentum. You put it all on the front tyre, so you've got to sort of late apex the hairpin itself to get a very straight and smooth run out to turn 3.
As these guys come up to turn 5 now, Bumcrack, he's caught right up to the back of Boybagum over that last lap. However, Freelix has dropped Boybagum by about 5/10 over the course of the lap. We can see that the McLaren seems to gain most of its time through this middle sector. As I say that, our commentators curse it, and that gap goes from about 6.5 tenths back up out to a second to Freelix.
Oh, there's a move on for P5 up to the corkscrew between Budsy and Black Project. Black Project struggling on those medium tyres. Budsy seems very comfortable. He's actually got more tyre wear at the moment compared to Black Project early on in the stint, but the car looks very composed, whereas the Ferrari, little bit twitchy under braking at this point. And Budsy might come into turn 11 here and have a bit of a sniff as Carbonboy barely saves it.
Oh,
Budsy's gonna have
contact
a
between
big
Black
look.
Project and Budsy! As Budsy and Black Project, it'll be a drag race. I think the Ferrari will win that drag race, but is Budsy able to keep his nose in? I don't think so. Ever so close on the run to turn 2. Budsy's going to get it done. He goes a little deep, and Black Project runs up the back of him. But Budsy gets the move done.
There's another battle just happening behind too. The Stranger's just got past Carbonboy, so the Stranger's starting to just flex a little bit of that muscle at the moment. His tyres still looking absolutely fantastic, mind you. As someone's just gone a little bit wide in front of him. Black Project has just dropped right off, but in front of these two, and we haven't said much about him so far. P4, he's looking very, very composed. Just in a world of his own at the moment.
Very respectable in the Mercedes.
He has, and it's been a bit of a dark horse package this race. It's a lot of talk about how well it'll save its tyre life, but not only that, it's very good on fuel around here.
Absolutely.
Boybagum and Freelix up in the front. Boybagum's starting to get a little bit twitchy now. He just showed the nose at Rainy Curve. Freelix just managing his own race at this stage, I feel. He's definitely looking after the car very well, but Boybagum just behind the medium tyres, the medium rear end, how do you say it? A medium configuration for the engine, sorry guys in chat. It's been a little bit of a while, and yeah, this old dog's a bit rusty behind the edges, but yeah, it looks like the yeah, the mid-engine placement is definitely helping the McLaren's favour here in terms of the front-heavy Supra. Just starting to really latch onto the back now, and Bumcrack's actually still not dropped these guys on the soft tyre. He's doing a great job to hang in.
Yeah, I mean, just holding on to P3 at the moment. I'm not too sure Bumcrack realises that these guys are on the harder tyre. But as we're coming up to about lap 6, we're on lap 6, coming up to lap 7.
Oh, Freelix is off!
Oh no!
Freelix is off at turn 6! He just went very wide up as he entered the rail straight. He's been able to gather it back up, but that has just kicked an own goal. And it looks like Boybagum is just going to put the ball back in and go for goal again because he's taken the lead of the race.
So let's have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay of what happened there for Freelix. As he head up the hill, it looks like it turns it in, hits the curb, and it sent him off. The sausage curb was too much for him, and he ran wide and ended up in the gravel trap. But now Bumcrack looking at P1. This race has just been flipped on its head. Can he chuck it down the inside of Boybagum? He goes for it. Gets his... Oh, can't quite break late enough compared to Boybagum there. But he might...
but Boybagum's gone wide.
But the McLaren just holds on to P1 for now.
Yeah, these sausage curves around Laguna Seca, they're the only sausages in the world you will not want to eat. They are fearsome, heavy and brutal, and even just lightly touching them really unsettles the car quite a lot. Can make or break your race, and especially on a corner like turn 6, leading up to a very critical uphill straight, the Rahal straight. You do not want to get that one wrong. There is a little bit of a green AstroTurf runoff on the exit, but even so, it will catch you out very easily. It's Boy become a
That's
Bumcrack
Bumcrack.
going up that same
Oh,
straight.
into the corkscrew. Can Bumcrack get it done? Oh, yes, he does go past. And he holds it, parks it on the apex. What a move from Bumcrack.
That is ballsy as anything to do it in the corkscrew. It is you need trust in yourself and the driver beside you to make sure that no contact happens, whatever. It's just crazy to see a move like that happen as these guys have stretched the gap. The guys behind are just slowly starting to stagnate that gap. That gap is dropping between Felix and Guru. It was out to 4.8, it's now down to 4.3. But Budsy's starting to really range in at the moment. He's doing a great job. He's dropped Black Project, and he is well and truly in the. I still say he's well and truly in this race at the moment.
So I reckon
Budsy has a big look. Oh,
we're on
sorry
lap
to cut in
8.
there, but Budsy had he just had a big look.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about lap 8 anyway?
1 second, I'll get back to you.
Anyway, so at this stage of the race, there's a lot of suffering tyres here, especially the front right. A couple of these guys have really done very, very rough around the edges on these ones. Bumcrack's actually done all right in terms of the grip here. He's got, let's say, about 50% tread on the front right, but apart from that, it's not any worse than Felix at the moment, who's on a medium tyre. So Boybegum is well and truly better off than both of them, but in terms of the fuel side of things, it looks like Bumcrack and Felix are better off on fuel than Boybegum is. Budsy's better than all of them in front of him, but his tyres about the same as Bumcrack and Felix. I'd like to say maybe just a little bit better on the left-hand side. Guru's tyres are even better again, but he's just sort of just sitting behind Budsy at the moment, so Budsy's obviously got through. Missed that one there, but this battle pack between 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th was really, really tight. Black Project, he's got the best tyres in the field by some margin. 3/4 of a tank of fuel still. Plenty of fuel. He can nearly get home without fueling up at this rate. That would be interesting in itself. Stranger has got half a tank of fuel just behind Carbonboy and Daz are just having their own little bit with barge. Daz is significantly better on tyres than Carbonboy at this stage, but I think these guys here, they know that it's going to be a rough night in the 86, and I don't think their aim is really to get to that top 5. They're just looking to get some big points with some drivers out of the race tonight.
So, lap 9, what do you reckon we get into our APR tyre and fuel update, Karen?
Yep, so Bumcrack there, he's on half a tank of fuel and tyres looking a bit shot. He's definitely done pretty well to get the softs out to lap 9 though. He's done a great job. Boybegum, I'd say he's about 2/3 of the way on tyre life, half a tank of fuel at the moment, and he's purple second at the moment, so he might be on the fastest lap of the race. He's definitely got a little bit of drama behind him though. Felix struggling with those mediums now. He's definitely worn them. A little bit over half a tank of fuel. Budsy has got 2/3 of a tank of fuel, plenty more fuel in the tank. Front right is a little bit shot, but apart from that, doing very, very well indeed. And Guru sitting behind, still fantastic on his tyres, over half a tank of fuel. Very well placed in terms of strategy for this race. This Black Project behind has got the same amount of tyre life, but significantly better on fuel than Guru. About even with Budsy now, about 2/3, I'd like to say. Carbonboy, over half a tank of fuel, medium tyres, looking a little bit rough, but they're not looking anywhere. They're looking a bit worse than Daz behind. Daz in P8, he's got 2/3 of a tank. Tyres looking actually quite nice. I want to swap them on this car at the moment. They still look really, really peachy. And then behind, of course, the Stranger, and while he's using the fuel to get to where he is, his tyres are absolutely astronomically fantastic. They have not had anything taken off.
That's great to hear.
That gap out the front now between Bumcrack and Boybegum is now out to 2 seconds. Bumcrack's at the fastest lap of the race last lap with a 1:27.803. So those softs are doing him an absolute world of good at the moment.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that gap. Bumcrack, this race got flipped on its head when Felix made contact with that sausage curve down at turn 6, and Bumcrack's used that opportunity to make hay while the sun shines, and he's moved himself into a position, a really threatening position to take this race win as he starts the 11th lap here at Laguna Seca.
There's a massive battle on for P6 at the moment though. Black Project and Carbonboy. This little battle pack hasn't really split up at all during this race. Black Project's just, he was on the back of Guru for a little bit, but it's just lost out now, and Carbonboy starting to make a little bit of inroad on the guys in front. It's also bringing Daz into the equation, because Daz's tyre life is actually better than Carbonboy's, and the Stranger's tyres, although he's looking fantastic, he's just going to push the engine. And as a result, it's sort of just backfiring a tiny bit in terms of strategy. Albeit, Alpha still does look absolutely magical. That new livery from Doghouse, oh wow, that is gorgeous. And the big tip about these Doghouse liveries, each driver, just like last season with their old Aston Martins, they're all relating to a colour of their choice. So the orangey sort of glow here for the Stranger, so you'll see green for Evil Evo next week, and a couple of the other liveries we're looking very much forward to seeing next week as well. So yeah, doesn't it look epic, I'd have to say, along with every other car on the grid, mind you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another Mo Jalen Award submission for Stranger. Wonderful livery, awesome work he's doing with the Doghouse cars, and yeah, looking fantastic, making those Alfa Romeos stand out on the track.
I think one big thing I've noticed about, speaking of the track, the tyre degradation's starting to just drop a little bit as the tyres rubber in, and the track just gets a bit more ripped up. There's not much rain out this way in terms of into the hills of California here in the Monterey Hills. And one thing we noticed when we got to this track, it is quite abrasive, but because of how sandy it is on the infield and the outfield, it can be a little bit better at times in terms of the cracks through the actual tarmac, which is very, very intriguing to see. As Guru seems to be clawing back to Budsy a little bit now. The gap's under a second. Mercedes definitely the better of the two on tyres by a mile. Budsy's actually really struggling. Got a 1:29.3 last lap.
We saw last season, Guru, he was known as the tyre whisperer for his ability to just do lap after lap without wearing his tyres at all, really. It was incredible to see some of those races. It got him a couple of race wins in season 6 in the S1 Supercars, his Aston Martin for Dadson Racing, and now he's showing more of the same and proving to us why he's a top driver in this Division 3 category. And wow, I mean, just the difference in tyre wear, it really does make the difference. It means you can go longer and you can really open up your strategy and do a lot more with it as opposed to the drivers around you. So props to Guru for his efforts in the race, and let's see where he ends up, potentially with a podium towards the end of this one.
Oh, speaking of the battle for podiums and stuff like that, I'm down here in 6th place, and Black Project is starting to struggle a little bit. He's got Carbonboy all over his rear end of the Ferrari 458. Carbonboy's starting to get a little bit racy now. His tyres looking absolutely still fantastic, and Black Project still look. I feel like Black Project's going to come in and try and do, in terms of fuel, it's well and truly better off than anybody around him except for Daz, who's just a little bit behind him. So when are we going to see pits? Because I reckon Black Project won't be taking fuel at this rate. Well, he's got to, actually. He's got to. It's lap 13. He's at half a tank. Oh,
as Bumcrack's in.
Bumcrack's come in. 13 laps on softs. And his times were still good.
I mean, that might be. I mean, he might be going for the one stop.
Yeah, have to be. But he has to be, because 13 laps on the soft. That front right tyre. Be interesting to see what it looks like when it comes off the car, but in terms of times, that's information for the rest of the field. His lap times were about mid to high 28s when he came in.
So
looks like he's one stopping for sure though.
we'll switch to Cruisin and just ask Cruisin, he's our man in the pit lane tonight. Does it look like we're seeing any other pit stops coming in shortly, or is it just looking like just the one man for now? Is Cruisin there?
I think he might be stuck in pit. Yeah, I think I can see him stuck in the pits at the moment. I think he's really actually just checking the information from the tyres. Yeah, I can see him. Cheeky little fella. He's got the binoculars out, looking at those tyres of Mr. Bumcrack. Those soft tyres from the stint he's just done. That's is that a little bit of team play
Stranger's
there?
in. A stranger
that's
was
big.
into the pits, and I would imagine it wasn't because of his medium tyres being dead. I would imagine that's because he knows he can carry those soft tyres till the end of the race, which is 16 laps on a soft tyre. And if there's any car that can do it, that's the Alfa Romeo.
Yep, big time. Agreed with that. And you could tell by the lap times he had around him, it was more or less being held at this point. So the undercut here, this is going to be the most effective undercut in the field by a mile, because whilst it's soft tyres and the Alfa's very, very light on its feet, the guys that we're fighting with, they're still going around again, and they're on more medium. So looks like Stranger might just start to make his move.
Absolutely.
Carbonboy has gotten around Black Project, by the way.
Which, speaking of Carbonboy, we'll see if we can get Carbonboy on the microphone. He's just cruising along at the moment. Carbonboy, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
And how's the race going for you so far, Carbonboy?
It's been a little bit stressful here in the, well, I was going to say the back part, but I'm sort of in the middle now that I look at the standings. It's been quite the tense race with Black Project and Daz not exactly making things easy for me.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been monitoring that battle, and you guys have been going hammer and tong at one another, battling it out for the last, I would say 5 or 6 laps or so, and you've finally been able to make the move stick.
It feels like a lot longer than that, to be honest.
So,
we better let him go. He's just in a mammoth battle at the moment with Black Project. Black Project's just looking around the outside as they head to turn 11. Oh, this battle's been going for no joke. It's been like 10 or 11 laps in these guys.
as we'll leave you to it, Carbonboy, have fun.
Thanks, guys.
He looked like he was ready to. I just watched him in the in-car camera footage, and he just looked like he was just trying to get his hand off the radio button as quick as he could, because he is definitely under the pressure right now from Black Project and Daz. As Black Project definitely put the nose up. He looked for the overlap, didn't get it. Oh, a little bit of a lump up though. Oh, this is tight, tense stuff. Yep.
Heading down towards turn 5, and Daz is getting involved. Daz tries around the outside, has to slot in behind Black Project, unable to get that move done. As they head up towards turn 6, up the hill.
This is costing them time though, the Stranger. That's the critical bit at this point of the race.
As they head to the corkscrew.
Just checking into the front now. Boy becomes 4 seconds clear of Frelix. Frelix's front right is dead. It's down to canvas, and I was actually just looking at Cruiser, who's had the binoculars out. He definitely look at those tyres, and I reckon he knows that they are critically going to be a major factor towards the end of this race.
As like, Budsy's in as well, so is Carbonboy, and yeah, Carbonboy and Budsy are into the pits.
This will be interesting now for the Stranger. It'll be interesting to see where Carbonboy comes out in regards to the Stranger, and if the Stranger's been able to make any inroads on these guys, because having a look at the times, the Stranger hasn't really sort of lit up the timesheets yet. He's done a 29 flat for his last lap. He's got to get these tyres up to 10.
And crucially, he's got to make them last. So you can't thrash them as soon as you come out of the pits. You got to sort of ease them into the stint. And once you get them up to temperature in that sort of fashion, then they'll give you what you want. which is to last as long as you need them to. And as Carbonboy is finished putting in the fuel now, coming out of the pits, it's going to be tight on exit. I don't see Carbonboy just yet.
Here comes the stranger down the front straight at the moment.
As Carbonboy is out in front.
Yeah, he was making inroads to the stranger, but yeah, it looks like the gap is 4-5 seconds. That's
Freelix in as well.
I thought it'd be. Yeah, Freelix. He's got nothing on that front right. You can see the sparks on the ground as he's coming in from that front right. Definitely.
Gurr's in as well. The Datsun Mercedes, which he was treating his tyres well.
Yeah, he was. Black Projects come in. Daz goes around again, so Daz running very, very long.
Must not have faith in those soft tyres to last as long as he needs them to, or just a bit of strategy at play for Daz, potentially trying to overcut the other guys. As we said, to make those tyres last, you need to sort of warm them up in a slow fashion. Warming them up too quickly will cause your tyre wear to basically fall off a cliff. As we see Bumcrack coming out ahead of Freelix, crucially. And the gap is sitting at 7 seconds between Bumcrack and Freelix. But that being said, Freelix is on a much faster tyre at this point.
Gap between Freelix and Budsy is 5 seconds as well, so Budsy's there or thereabouts as Boybegum is in. And Boybegum's lap times are actually looking very, very strong. In fact, he was faster than the stranger was on used mediums. He's really used the fuel though, so he's definitely going to fill up quite a bit more. Looking at Daz, I think the overcut, we saw with Carbonboy on the stranger that the overcut could work, but let's
It
wait
goes
and
around
see.
again. Oh wow.
Oh, this is a big stint on those mediums. His mediums actually don't look too bad at this point. He's got a quarter of a tank of fuel, so he could go a bit further if he really wishes to. But yeah, his lap times are definitely suffering now. So on track, we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled on him because he is on the alternate strategy. Boybegum putting fuel in the car.
Let's
where he
see.
comes out.
As it's going to be tight. Bumcrack's definitely got him now. But what's that gap going to be? I think it's going to be closer between Freelix and Boybegum. As they can see each other, it looks like Boybegum's going to get him. Yes, Boybegum does get Freelix by 2 seconds, 1.5.
But the big thing about this now is Freelix is on very, very nice and warm softs. A little bit more wear, but Boybegum's got to get those tyres up. So Freelix, if he's going to do the job, has to get it done in the next couple of laps. But if what Budsy wants now is those two to just absolutely throw haymakers at each other, so he can wipe that gap right out. His lap time's actually looking very, very strong compared to Freelix. Budsy did a 48.6 for his personal best last lap. In response, Freelix a 1:30.9.
As an outlap though.
Agreed, yeah, as an outlap. Boybegum struggling as Daz finally comes in after 19 laps on a set of mediums. That is a long stint.
As Bumcrack rounds the final corner, the gap is 5 seconds between himself and victory. Just 10 laps remaining. 10 laps and half of the straight.
He's just got to weather this storm a little bit from the early pace of the soft tyre. It looks like times are not really overly dropping. He did a 29.3 last lap. Freelix though did a 28.1. And Boybegum, this will be his first real indicative lap time and see where he's at. So this battle between the top three, 5.6 seconds between them. It's not over yet. It is going to be a grandstand finish, guys. So make sure if you haven't already, grab a beverage. Go to the loo if you really need to, because this is going to be a helter-skelter final 10 laps, that's for sure.
Budsy's purple, by the way. The
gap between these three, in the top three, is just, it's going to be really, really tight towards the end. Bumcrack was able to make those tyres last, so Freelix, he's going to have a bit of a job on his hands. He was the worst of the three on terms of tyre life. We know he can make that soft last, and definitely the better of the three cars in terms of tyre life and management. Budsy in the shadows, he's the dark horse at this point. Yeah, Daz was able to, he's just come out and he's got the stranger all over his rear end. It's like, yeah, the overcut sort of didn't really work out the way he wanted to. Black Project and Carbonboy skipped ahead up the road, but it's really hurt the stranger the most.
As
Just a bit of a brown pants moment there for Black Project as he held it through turn 10 just sideways. They're actually closing up on Brewer right now. These two.
as Black Project, he's made his way past Carbonboy, I believe, by strategy. Is that an overcut there from Black Project potentially?
I dare say maybe. Did it on lap 17, end of lap 17, and Brewer at the moment, he did the same, but Carbonboy hit it a lap earlier than these two, and he's actually the one that's starting to make a little bit of time up, but he's using a lot of tyre to get to these two to do it. As looking at back up that front battle, the top three at the moment, Boybgum just took the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 27.581. The gap between himself and Bumcrack dropping significantly at this moment. Bumcrack did a pretty respectable 28.7, but it's still 1.2 seconds slower. Freelix is just starting to drop off the back of Boybgum, so this is anyone's game at the moment if anything goes wrong. And Budsy himself is starting to claw back a little bit. That gap's just briefly under the 5 second mark. Ooh. Any one of these guys on the top four, they could win this.
Yeah, absolutely. If it stays the way it is, Bumcrack and Boybgum lapping 1 second, or as I say that, it's only 2/10 on that last lap. But between, Budsy sets the fastest lap.
Wow!
Just pipping Boybgum there.
What a lap! So he's
He
showing
really-
great late.
He really wants to
Wow.
claw himself back into this one.
He's doing all the right things. Gap's dropped under 3 seconds now between Bumcrack and Boybgum, so Boybgum is on the way. If you're Bumcrack right now, you're just starting to feel a little bit of the pressure. You're the championship leader, you don't have risks to take. You've already got a couple of races with Boybgum. He's 8 points behind the championship. He's your main title rival. And Freelix in P3, he's the one that wants to get back into the mix. There is absolutely nothing between these three. Oh, I'm nervous now. I don't know about you, Lenocis, but I am nervous for this battle. It is now 2.2 seconds the gap.
It's going to be a massive finish between these two. Just eight laps remaining in this race, and 2.2 seconds. Boybgum on the quicker tyre, but then begs the question: will Boybgum be able to get past Bumcrack?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because Bumcrack's medium. He's definitely used a little bit of that front right on the.
As Boybgum goes even quicker, a 1:27.3.
These are quali laps right now. What in the world?
Low fuel loads on the soft tyre, and he charged for the race win. Everything, it's all playing into Boybgum's hands at this point. Over a second quicker than Bumcrack at this stage of the race.
The big thing out of all this, though, Boybgum was the only one in the 27s. The other three were in the 28s. Bumcrack was actually the slowest of the top four. He was slower than Carbonboy down in P7 by 3/10. He was actually one of the slower guys on that last lap. So Bumcrack, yeah, I think he's starting to think about it now. He's seeing that gap drop. And there's so much time left in this race for Boybgum to make his move. He doesn't need to really rush it if he's going to do it. But in saying that, he needs to get it done while the soft fire is still good.
This might be a result of the start of the race where Bumcrack couldn't quite, he was stuck behind the medium runners of Boybgum and Freelix, And now, it could be Bumcrack paying for it now, as there's only 1.1 seconds between the two.
This is going to be an all-time classic battle at this rate. We are going to a grandstand finish, ladies and gentlemen.
As they head into turn 2 for the 24th time this race.
He's able to brake so deep with those soft tyres. He's just got so much confidence under braking in that McLaren. It's under a second now.
As Boy becomes purple.
Wow, this is getting absolutely crazy. Look at this gap, absolutely disappearing for the lead of the race in round 7, Division 3. Bumcrack versus Boybegum. Bumcrack's going to have to do a lot of work to last though.
Oh, Freelix took the fastest lap as well.
Wow.
And they're just lining up the track times at the moment. They're getting quicker and quicker and quicker as time goes by. 6 tenths to Bumcrack and Boybegum.
Oh, as they come to the corkscrew now, Boybegum, he gets pulled this, and Freelix knows it too. Freelix is pushing. He's got to find 2 seconds though. So these guys are going to battle their absolute neck out. They'll fight for the last skill in the bag. What this will do is if they fight too hard and Freelix gets involved, 2 seconds tops. He's 5.6 seconds time, but that's not going to change much with these guys fighting in front. You'll lose so much time otherwise.
We could be looking at a 3-way finish for the lead.
5 laps to go. The engine's flying now. He's right there, Boybegum. He is right there. All over the back of the Kraken Esports Supra. From CP Motorsports to the McLaren of
You can just
Boybegum.
feel the move coming for Boybegum. It's sooner rather than later. It's not a question of if he will get past Bumcrack, it's more a question of when at this point. And with that gap like that on the different tyres, it may be too little too late for Bumcrack. But he's going to fight till the last lap, the last quarter, as Freelix getting closer and closer as well. That gap under 2 seconds now.
He nearly put it into the wall though at the exit of turn 5. Freelix had a big oversteer moment. The whole rear end just sideways out of there. But you can feel it, you were definitely right. This is Jaws music incoming here for Mr. Bumcrack. Boybegum right behind.
As they come into the final quarter now.
Oh, the gap starting to drop dramatically from Boybegum to Freelix too.
1.4 seconds as well. Is Boybegum being held up by Bumcrack? Bumcrack weaving on the straights to try and gain as much of an advantage over Boybegum as possible on the run towards turn 2. The Supra, the straight line speed just might be enough to keep Bumcrack in the lead of this race. That being said, the McLaren is no slouch in a straight line either.
This is the battle right now. There's a couple other battles happening up and down the field at the bottom. It is the battle for the race win. Going up to turn 5 now, Boybegum might just have a look. Bumcrack forces him to go on the
outside! Get Boybegum, get it pulled off! Oh, a little bit of contact, but it's all honest and fair. Boybegum unable to get the move done through the sweeper of turn 5. But now, Freelix, that gap is just over a second. It's getting closer and closer as time goes on. This is an absolutely incredible defensive performance from Bumcrack, but only 4 laps. Oh, Boybegum!
Gone!
Oh no,
He's
that's
gone,
disaster! Disaster for the CP driver.
And Freelix has a half-second penalty from the corkscrew.
Oh dear.
Advantage Bumcrack. He might have just got away with this one. 4 laps to go.
Is Bumcrack able to hold on? The soft tyres might be too cooked for Freelix and Boybegum to mount a response. As we have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay at that one. And what happened there for Boybegum? He just... I think he broke and the car got all stiff and one wheel onto the gravel and that's all it takes and you're out of the race.
oversteered on the rainy curve there, and he was in the marbles a little bit too. The track deck is very, very high at the moment. You can see when he can land the exit of the curve and just, yeah, he's having moments of understeer now. I'm starting to think the soft tyre is just starting to get away from him a little bit.
As Black Project and Carbonboy are still fighting it out. They've been going at it the entire duration of the race.
So the Alphas, unfortunately, even though it's got the better tyre life, it's just not being able to do any inroads whatsoever. So all that talk about the Alphas tyres and how good it will be in the strategy aspect, it's just, yeah, sort of backfired a little bit. The strangest pace has just been there or thereabouts, but yeah, he's just not able to keep up with the cars in front. The gap between Guru and Black Project as well, starting to just fluctuate a little bit. It was 1.1, goes between 1.1 and 1.6. Actually, oh no, Black Project!
Oh!
He's gone off at turn 10! That's like Carbonboy into 6th! That is huge. So, looks like Black Project's tyres, they are definitely on the sore side. And Guru's struggling as well. Carbonboy is in a fight here for the top 5 at this point. If Guru's struggling this much, oh, I'd hate... You wouldn't want to be any of these guys in this position right now with the way their tyres are. That's for sure. I'm looking up and down the field at the moment. Most of these guys, they're dead. I'm surprised Budsy actually, looking at this tyre life feedback, I'm surprised Budsy actually hasn't had the tyre explode on him yet. There's absolutely nothing left on it. Bum crack out in front now by 3.4 seconds, 2 laps to go. He might be home and hosed here, but the battle for second place is definitely well and truly on. Relix is getting absolutely hounded in by Boybacum here.
Oh, he picks up a penalty!
Oh no, they've both got penalties!
Oh!
Relix and Boybacum have both got penalties.
What a saving grace for Freelix, as that could have been the end of his race, but oh, runs wide at the final corner. That could be another penalty. Looks like he's got away with it for now though.
Sorry, the penalty not being served this lap. It will be served on the next one. These boys will not want to get another penalty again, that's for sure.
As they approach the burn zone, or are they not serving it? No, they should be.
No, the burn zone's on the front straight, I think.
Is it? I thought it was after turn 4.
No, I'm pretty sure it's on the front straight now. It used to be turn 4.
Yeah, okay,
Look at this,
okay.
Boybacum.
Oh, but Boybacum goes for the
outside.
move! Tried that move against
Turn
a bum
5.
crack.
He's going to get it done easy though. Look at the amount of grip he has.
Oh, wow.
Side by side as they head to turn 6. They're going onto the entrance of the Ray Hall Straight. Boybacum's got it done. Relix has no...
Oh, he runs wide! Oh, dear!
Boybacum is well and truly off.
Oh, no. That's terrible for Boybacum, going from bad to worse. As we have a look on the next level racing action replay at that, as he came into turn 6, was that the sausage striking again? No, it looks like he just ran off. Unprompted.
Oh, Freelix just gone wide.
Oh my goodness, it's all going down here. And Bumcrack has pretty much a 5-second lead, and these guys have a penalty. It is a 5-second lead. Might be up to a 6-second lead.
You know what's the big thing right now? Look at the gap between Boybacum and Budsy, and they've both just served penalties. That gap is dropping quite significantly because, unlike the Supra, the Porsche, even when its tyres are worn, is still very balanced and very controlled. It can still get lap time compared to the Supra on worn tyres. So Budsy, albeit 3 seconds back, if these guys make a mistake, he's on the podium.
Absolutely.
Relix has definitely got no tyres though, but Boybacum's so much higher than these guys. This is insane. There's still 3 cars that can battle for the last 2 spots on the podium though. But they won't have an answer for Mr. Bumcrack, who's 7 seconds clear at the moment, ending up the Rahal straight for the final time.
5 laps ago, who could have written this? Bumcrack 7 seconds down the road. But it's not over for Boybagum and Freelix as Boybagum, 3/10, he sticks it down the inside. Oh, I thought he was going for it.
Oh,
But
Freelix
Freelix! Oh no! Disaster for Freelix!
Oh no!
And it looks like Boybagum will get P2 after all that. But Bumcrack, how was he held on as he'll come across the line to take a magnificent win? So lucky for Bumcrack, but he takes P1. Boybagum somehow takes P2, and Freelix comes home in P3. Budsy almost gets there, P4. And Gur will hold on from the Charging Obsession Motorsports 86 of Carbonboy to take P5. Carbonboy in P6. Black Project, after his mishap, comes home in P7. Daz in 8th. And the Stranger will come home in P9. As we look on the Next Level Racing action replay at what happened to Freelix there. As, yeah, he just ran wide and, gave that position to Boybagum. So, that was massive.
Wow. You know what that was? That was pressure on the last lap with Boybagum having significantly better tyres. Him showing the nose just a slight bit would have put Freelix off his game that little bit, and that front right being absolutely down to nothing. That's the end result, and that was just all-round pressure from Boybagum there. But holy shit, what a final 5 laps that podium was, seriously. Oh, who are we going to give the Womble to for that one today? That's just nuts. So, guys in chat, make sure you throw in your Womble picks, and not only that, smash the like button of the stream tonight. We want to see at least 15 likes. There's about, from what I saw, I think there's about 34 of us watching at the moment, which is really, really good to see. So get those likes in, and let us know who your pick is for the Womble Award tonight.
I think, I know it's not very traditional to give it to the person who won the race, but I think it just has to be said. Bumcrack, I mean, I up until the final 5 laps, I would have a case for Boybagum and I have a case for Freelix, but it was so messy in those last few laps, and I feel like the only driver who had a perfect, well, pretty much perfect race in the end there in pretty much the entire pack was Bumcrack. And the consistency and being able to put in lap after lap without mistake, it just needs to be credited. So I'm giving mine to Bumcrack. What about you, Brent?
Oh, you know me with lobbies where my drivers are at. I like to be biased, but I don't think I can be biased. I think I'm going to give mine to a guy that he didn't make a mistake in that top 5. He did a fantastic job, and slightly underrated tonight, I think, in terms of performance. He did a great drive. I'm giving mine to Guru tonight.
That's a solid pick, absolutely. I could second that.
So just checking through chat at the moment. Bumcrack said I was sweating. Oh my god. Yeah, mate, I could tell the gap was dropping significantly each lap. Driver of the day, Budsy from Shadow Racing. Debrev has said driver of the day, Bumcrack. VF has said well done, Guru, but driver of the day, Bumcrack. Driver of the day, Bumcrack from Robert Rice, and yeah.
Driver of the day, Guru from Datsun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should say that he's biased, but I'm not going to because I picked him as well. It's a solid pick. So,
but here is the official race results as well from Division 3. Bumcrack takes the win. Boybagum in P2. Freelix in P3. He comes away with all the extra points for tonight's race. Pole position and the fastest lap with a 27.298. Budsy takes P4 for Cayman. Cayman? For Icer Esports.
Cayman.
I read the car.
Cayman Esports. Cayman Esports. Oh no, sorry guys at ISA. We're
okay. Icer Esports will forever be known as Cayman Esports from now on.
Yep. Paint the cars green with a nice rocky sort of looking livery, and we'll call it even. well.
As Gur takes P5, Carbonboy in P6, Black Project P7, Daz P8, and the Stranger comes home in P9 in the end there. Whew. So
Oh,
what a race that was.
Yeah, I'm out of breath right now, and I can't believe what just happened. So, yeah, I think if this race was anything to go by, even though we only had 9 on the grid, like with no sausage, unfortunately, because of real life commitments. Of course, with Brewer and
Kill
Prusky
switch.
Killer, yeah, the kill switch. Yeah, doing real life racing at Baskerville this weekend. Congratulations, by the way, boys. And who else were we missing? We were missing Rex as well, our Division 4 champion from last season. So, yeah, I think this next race for Division 1, the top squads and the top drivers, it's on. It's seriously on after watching that race. That was fantastic to see.
Absolutely.
Mate, you're out of breath.
How are you, mate? How do you feel after that one?
I has probably lost about 2 kilos worth of body weight just in fluids from sweating all that time with Black Project. My God.
That battle went forever, but I think we're about to see some big name battles over in Division 1 land, so I think we might cross over to that and yeah, get that one underway, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just trying to get a test start going at the moment.
Which we will jump to a 10-minute intermission so that we can sort out Division 1 lobby. Everyone can be rested up and ready to go for Division 1. So I think Brent said it earlier. If you haven't already, like the video and subscribe. Your presence just being here watching the stream is enough for us. So thanks for coming along, everybody. But we have another half of the action coming right up. As Division 1 takes us away in just under 15 minutes.
Before you go, I have just had word from the track officials. Prusky has finally arrived at the track, albeit 10 minutes too late. So, oh, sorry, Brewer, we can't run that one again, mate. Anyway, I'm going to jump out of the box, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you to Karen as well for commentating tonight's race and being the Division 3 race director. The efforts that you have provided tonight have not gone in vain.
Yay! All right, let's get into it.
So we'll be right back, guys. 10 minutes time. We'll be here with Division 1 catches. Hello, everybody, and we are back once again for our Division 1 qualifying and race session. So before we get into things, we'll just have a quick look at how Division 1 are shaping up coming into this race. Geesh leads the way with Respawn Esports on 186 points. Morgan Davey is in P2 for Deeds. Captain Muffin in 3rd for CP. TX3 GTR in 4th. After Geesh and GTR both missed last race out at Watkins Glen. Atom in P5, the other Respawn driver. Woody in P6. Ricky Bobby in P7. Lewis in 8th. Young Wakey in P9. Blind Man in 10th. Corey Hack 11th. Scar 12th. Hellraiser 13th. And officially, Nif is in 14th, but he has... unable to continue in the series, and replacing Nif today is FAF 747, a community driver who's stepped up to the challenge of our Division 1 field here tonight. So looking forward to seeing how FAF feels himself out in this Division 1 field tonight. And of course, joining me in the commentary box is your Division 1 race director tonight, Carbonboy. How are you doing tonight, Carbonboy?
Hot and sweaty as per always. Especially so tonight. I don't think I stopped sweating that entire race.
After your battle with Black Project.
Yeah, I think it was just a race-long battle. It wasn't just a couple of laps. But we've just had some news in from the medical tent. We do have a couple of outs in tonight's race. Unfortunately, we have Hellraiser, aka GK Turtle, who is out with a broken toe, I do believe. And I think there might have been a bit of an incident down at the caterer's tent, because we also have one of the CP drivers and also an Obsession driver, being Diswood and Ricky Bobby, respectively. Both not exactly feeling the best, and I do believe there's been a bit of fluid loss from. Well, I'll leave it there.
Personally, I wouldn't touch the meatloaf with a 6-foot pole. But
Yeah, never been a fan of meatloaf, and this just confirms it, that we should either the food or the artist.
it was either the meatloaf or the seafood, and I don't know who was on the catering this week. I have a feeling it might have been the Kraken Esports crew or their employees, but I don't know. I might have to check in and see who it was, and maybe we have to fire some caterers, or let's see. As we're just waiting for everybody to tick in before we jump into this race, as we see a couple of people in the chat currently. Hello to Shannon, to Proa, Kez is there as well. Robert Rice and Midpack Hack, I believe that's Freelix, Bumcrack, Debrev, Growling Dog, and Killer on the Loose there as well. And Proa, I believe he said somewhere, hello from on the road. Yes, Killer and Proa say hello from the road. So hello, Killer and Proa. I believe you're off the road now by your recent messages, but qualifying, just waiting for everybody to ready up. Please ready up, everybody, so we can click the big red button. Wait, we're still in the United States. So is it still orange from last time out, Carbonboy, or is it red?
Somebody did clean all the orange paint off, but luckily I carry a little canner of it around with me, so I've managed to repaint it.
Never
I
changed.
suspect it's somebody over at the Blacklight or Dadson camp.
Very
Alrighty, we have our 11 drivers all ticked in and are ready to rock and roll. So let's get this show on the road, because I am keen to see what these Div 1 guys can do.
Especially seeing that the quality time in Division 3 was a 27 flat by the Respawn Esports driver of Freelix. I'm just wondering how low we're going to go. Could we see a 24? It's a bit bold.
I don't
but
think we'll see a 24 in qualifying, but I'm going to put it out there. We're going to see a 25.8 pole time.
25.8. Okay. As the debutant FAF 747 in his Hooncorp Sylvia, the first man out on track here tonight. As the very long pit lane exit peels onto the track now. Oh, not Hooncorp, Black Rose. I am mistaken. Terribly sorry. Please forgive me. The actual Hooncorp driver, one of the Hooncorp drivers, also in Sylvia, is GTR just behind him. Young Wakey, the third person out on track tonight. Geesh, MP4, the championship leader in this race here tonight. And the other Hooncorp driver in the Sylvia, the third Sylvia on the grid, is Lewis in P5. Blind Man in 6th on the road, and Atom in 7th on the road. Corey Huck just behind them. Captain Muffin and his golden McLaren sitting in 9th on the road. Scar in P10 on the road, and Morgan Davey, as we've seen a couple of times throughout the season, she likes to get some fresh air in these qualifying sessions, and that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about 10 seconds off the back of everybody else, just cruising around in the free air. So let's see what he can do. As we also look, also to mention with Morgan Davey, as per the last couple of races, as was pointed out by Karen every now and then, he has a new livery each and every race, representing a different Deeds can. You know, the brewing company, Deeds Brewing Company, a different kind of can for each race. Last time we saw, what was it? The pre-workout, I believe it was, at Watkins Glen. It was a purple and yellow can. But now he's in his new tin can. I'm not too sure what this one is based off. However, it is a different livery once again for Morgan Davey.
I know I do give a fair bit of flack to
GTR!
these guys.
Oh dear, huge contact! Oh no! That was massive for GTR, had a massive moment. And he's run into young Wakey, I think. Oh, he's back on the racing line. Get off, get off! Oh. Okay. Okay, keep going now, GTR. Oh my, what is happening? Is he disconnected? No.
No, he's still there.
Oh dear.
He's just having a bit of a moment.
Yeah, as we catch that on the Next Level Racing action replay, what happened there for GTR? He just caught a bit of the grass, or not much grass, the dirt, and he spun across in front of Wakey.
I'm sorry, what? Grass?
Yeah,
at Laguna Seca? Where? There is none of that on the track.
So Adam goes P1, Geesh P2, and the debutante... Oh
wow! Oh my god! I'm pretty sure Morgan just gave GTR a bit of a tap there.
Oh.
Ooh.
GTR
that's gotta be a spicy moment.
What's happening with GTR is he's not having a very good first flying lap. I'm not going to lie. It's not the quickest lap around Laguna Seca you'll ever see.
And in fairness, once you get in the gravel here, getting out, it's not quite as difficult as Willow Springs, but it's not far off it either.
Yeah. So
as he comes into the pits.
How these guys line up at the moment. Atom holds provisional pole position over Geesh in P2. Captain Muffin, the third place man at the moment, and Corey Hack into P4. Morgan Davey 5th at the moment after his first flying lap. Scar 6th for Lightning Motorsport. Blind Man 7th, and the debutante FAF 747 currently sitting in P8 in his Nissan Sylvia. Lewis P9, Young Wakey P10 after the contact with GTR, and GTR has, as Wakey goes up into P3. And I can't tell whether GTR is, no, he is coming back out. Jeesh did improve on that last lap, but not enough to quite pip Atom at the top there. 600ths between those two at the moment. Very, very tight at the pointy end. As Muffin's purple through the first sector. Could we see a Muffin pole position? We haven't seen that yet this season, but as I think Scar has prematurely left the session. Not too sure what's happened.
He pulled into the pits, and I did catch a bit of a message there from the team owner. There has been a failure with the car, so unfortunately we will not see Scar back on the grid tonight.
Hearing word it may have been a brakes issue for Scar, however he is out of this session. But Adam leads the way, and he is down by 600ths of a second. What can he pull in the last sector if he isn't coming into the pits this lap? He is pulling into the pits this lap, so that's not going to cut it. But let's see what Captain Muffin can do on the run down to the start-finish line. And he will cross the line, goes into P2, slots himself between the two Respawn Esports drivers. 400ths to the good and 100th to the bad. Wow. That's a good lap from Captain Muffin, threading the needle between the two drivers there.
In the words of Captain Penalty himself, as I've spent a bit of time with him in practice lobbies over the weekend, up the mighty Macca.
Up the mighty Macca. And yes, Snake Eyes, somebody did say the Muffin Man. That's Captain Muffin for you. He is our Muffin Man. As the Muffin Man has gone off the track.
He's channeling his inner Colin McRae there. Not sure if you want to do that in qualifying, but
was it a sausage curve? Did it bite? It was, and it did. Uh-oh, Muffin. As long as that wasn't a flying lap, which if it was, it is no longer. Somebody say the Muffin Man? As next across
what's
the line,
impressive to me is, at the moment, is Morgan Davies sitting in P7.
GTR goes to P2, threading the needle even further.
While you think P7 is not particularly fantastic, you've got to remember he's in the 8.6 against a whole bunch of Supras, so he's already in a car that it's a little bit slower every lap, and he is currently up on his best time, so let's see if he can maybe squeeze himself into P6, maybe P5. P6 it is.
Yeah, good lap from Morgan Davey in the 8.6. But just to mention, there is 600ths between the top four. How crazy is that? 400ths between Atom and GTR, a further 4,000th to Muffin behind GTR, and then 16,000ths of a second back to Jeesh. How crazy is this for a qualifying session?
That is quite tight. That is very, very tight.
Quite tight. 1 minute remaining in the session. As we see GTR on a flying lap, can he improve even further on his run to the line? He does, and he doesn't go. He goes better, but he doesn't go higher in the order I meant to say. But he's going to get one more lap. He's just made this even closer. Muffin didn't improve, but now somebody in the background there went off. Let me find.
That's a Morgan. That is a Morgan.
P6,
I'm just riding on board with HC Lewis at the moment, who's up on his best time. So I foresee him, depending on his entry onto the main straight, he could get himself into a P6 here if he does well.
As
No,
Adam
he doesn't.
crosses the line. Doesn't improve, but he's going to get one more shot at it. here. It'll be GTR. No, GTR's pulled off. I think that's his lap done. As we're getting confirmation from race control that this will be the final lap of the session for all of these guys. Blind Man doesn't improve, but does improve his time. And GTR will be the next driver to cross the line as he approaches the final corner. And heads down towards the finish line, and he is going to be down, of course, but it will be Muffin behind him. Can Muffin improve? No, he's down. So P3 for Muffin, but can anybody behind, really? Wakey, Geesh, just sitting behind. Could they possibly spoil the party? Young Wakey, it looks like he might be up. Oh, actually, no, he's definitely going to be down on his time.
Not after that sideways action.
Yeah. Oh, is somebody facing backwards? That is... can't find it. Who's backwards? I don't know. That looks like... I can't find them. Oh, it was Adam. Okay. And it looks like this is how it's going to be.
And Morgan Davies is in the pits.
So Adam will be the last one to cross the line. However, he is 15 seconds down in his time, so that's how it is. Adam will take pole position. As we're just waiting for the timer to play out here.
Yep. Unfortunately, once somebody parks it up in the pits and the timer runs out, we do have to wait for the in-game timer to finally elapse, which it has. Excellent. Now,
Which Snake Eyes said it here. Wow, not a lot of time between Div 1 and Div 3 fastest lap, which is absolutely correct. Just 2.5 tenths. And with Freelix's pole time...
really?
Yeah, with Freelix's pole time, that would have put him P6 in this grid.
Wow, I'm
funny.
genuinely shocked. I honestly thought there would be, well, at least a second, but watch out, Div 1 boys. Div 3 are coming for you.
As this is how these guys line up. At the end of that qualifying session, HC Adam takes pole position with a 126.751. I believe that's his first pole position of the season. But GTR lines up alongside, just 300ths behind him. Oh, that's something else as well. Okay, we'll get down to that later. But just 300ths behind Adam, lines up alongside on the front row is GTR. Captain Muffin takes P3, a further 16 thousandths behind. And just behind Muffin, again, a further 16 thousandths of a second is Geesh. And even then, young Wakey is sitting behind him. Another, let me do some quick math, 17 thousandths. Like, what is this? These guys are leaving no gaps to one another. That is crazy. 800ths of a second between P1 and P5, and it only gets you 5th. Wow, that's that just shows how tight this Division 1 pack is. But in P6 is Morgan Davey, 4 Ds in the 8-6. Corey Hack takes P7 in the qualifying session. HC Lewis takes P8. FAF, the debutante, takes P9. Blind Man in 10th. And Scar, with the mechanical failure, rounds out the rear in P11 of that qualifying session. So I think we... I think we get ahead into this Division 1 race. What do you reckon, Mr. Carbonboy?
I have pushed the button. I was just watching a bit of chat listening to a bit of drivers chat over the radios, saying they were having a bit of a drama with the tyre guys in pit lane. Apparently there was a bit of union action and they didn't want to get involved in today's race. But thankfully talks have have prevailed, and we've got some tyre changing people on board and ready to go in pit lane once again.
As the
So,
light sequence begins, 5 lights, revs rising, they're out and away we go here in Division 1. As these guys barrel down towards turn 1, and it looks like GTR gets the edge over Atom. Muffin hoping to follow GTR down the inside. Can these guys keep it clean through the first turn? Little bit of push and shove there, but everybody seems to be through cleanly, and crucially for GTR and Captain Muffin, well, not for long for Captain Muffin, as Adam sticks it back down the inside of Muffin. Oh, a little bit of push and shove with Morgan Davey there, loses the position, drops down past Blind Man there, who's made up 5 positions through the first corner, Blind Man. As these guys head towards turn 5.
Aboard.
Oh, Muffin, that's a bit ambitious. Oh, but he makes the move. Stick, maybe. Oh, is somebody's wide? That's the Hooncorp driver of Lewis in the background running a little bit wide. As Adam and Muffin are going absolutely at one another here, trying to make moves. Stick up into the corkscrew, and Adam gets it done. A little bit of contact with Jeesh there. Jeesh can't quite hold on to the back of Muffin. And now Jeesh is under a lot of pressure from Morgan Davey, who is also under a lot of pressure from the Datsun driver of Blind Man, I should say. As these guys...
I was riding on board with Blind Man first half of lap 1, and there was action aplenty with a battle with Morgan and also a little bit of a battle with Wakey, who is now running right alongside the pit wall down the inside of FAF, so have the inside into T1. Might even get Lewis if he backs out of that. Smart move.
As Wakey, he tried to hang it around the inside there, but the inside turns into the outside, and now Wakey's losing the position to FAF. Looking back up the top though to GTR, 1.4 seconds to the good over Atom. Last week's winner here. GTR still hunting for that record-breaking, elusive, I believe it's 11th win in Sector 1, which would take the outright record for most wins in Sector 1 history. I will fact check that now and let you all know, but he's even with Brocky at the moment for most wins.
So, I've got a little bit of a tidbit of information that I'm not going to drop just yet, but it is in relation to what tyres people are running.
Which could be very, very interesting come later on in this race, as we see a bit of a battle in the background between Lewis, FAF and Wakey here for the scraps at the back. So the most wins total at the moment is held a joint record by Rocky and GTR with 12. And the most pole positions is outright held by GTR with 11. It was formerly held by Rocky and GTR at 10, but with GTR's win pole position in Brands Hatch, that popped his total up to 11 in Sector 1 history. As these guys have mostly sorted themselves out into single file at the moment. As they come up into turn 6, these last few guys. As GTR, that gap to Adam staying at about that 1.4 second mark between these two. And Muffin holding on to 3rd position over the championship leader Jeesh. And he is purple as well, Muffin.
I wouldn't get too carried away if I was Muffin having the purple lap, because right on his bumper is Jeesh, who is also purple through that same sector.
They barrel down towards the start-finish line. Jeesh pulls to the inside using the absolute muscle of the Supra to try and get an edge, get past, but it is Jeesh who takes the fastest lap of the race, shucks it down the inside. No, just shows the nose for now. Can't quite get the move done on the golden McLaren. As that gap now under a second between GTR and Atom. As it just goes up over a second again, just to spite me. Lovely. But it's Captain Muffin and Jeesh. The gap currently 2/10. Jeesh showing the nose once. Sticks in behind. Long race. We're only 4 laps into this one. It's a long way to go here. So I don't imagine GTR will be too impatient, but not too patient either. Trying to make his way past Captain Muffin.
Speaking of patience, down in P8, P9, Lewis has decided enough's enough. I'm going down the inside of Young Wacky, going on the run up to the corkscrew. Just sends it down the inside. And unfortunately, turn 4, I believe it was, FAF just ran that little bit wide and found himself out on the gravel. Not a lot of grip out there, but he did manage to keep facing in the correct direction and get it back on track. So only lost a couple of seconds, which in Div 1 is a lot, but in the grand scheme, it could have been a whole lot worse.
Absolutely. As we look back up at the front, GTR has a half-second penalty, but he's also got a 1.5 second gap. So that could be crucial in this battle for the lead. And if there is a tyre difference, which we're yet to find out, that could be massive. Captain Muffin still holding off against Jeesh at the moment. But Jeesh still knocking on the back door.
I will give you a little bit of a hint. Every single driver is on the exact same tyre.
Oh. Well, that makes things interesting, but also fair in a way.
It gives you a 50-50 chance of getting your guess right, basically.
Looking at these lap times, I honestly can't tell at this point. As GTR will serve that penalty, 1.5 seconds in hand. Considering the pole time was a 26.75, I'm going to say that they're all on the soft, but we'll have to wait and see when we get to the APR tyre and fuel update. So that gap drops down to just 4/10 between Atom and GTR. As we see Jeesh just showing the nose on Muffin there, but can't quite get the move done.
The one thing I am noticing about the difference between the Silvia versus the Supra, the Silvia is much kinder on its tyres, particularly the rears, than the Supra.
Absolutely.
Fuel economy does seem to be a bit of a different story, but having said that, you've got Captain Muffin in the rear-engined, rear-drive McLaren, who somehow is being even kinder on its rear tyres. Work that one out.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting to think about, but...
Oh, geesh, down the inside, out of the corkscrew on Captain Muffin.
What a
Clean
move from
as you like.
As we catch that one on the Next Level Racing action replay. Muffin getting a little bit of air in the McLaren, and it just sort of compromised his exit, but then Jeesh saw the gap, went for it, stuck it through on Muffin, and puts himself into the podium places.
And look who's lurking, just 1 second back, just keeping to himself, nice and quietly doing his business, going along. Morgan Davey.
Morgan Davey driving the wheels off that 8.6. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, looking at Jeesh, if he gets the win today, he'll become 1 win away this season in his pursuit for a Sector 1 record of equaling the highest win totals in history, which is currently sitting At 6, held by Rocky in Season 2, Distinct Andrew in Season 6, and Young Wakey in Season 6 in Division 2, of course. Those 3 all getting 6 wins in a single season. And the longest season we have here this season allows for some records to be broken. And Geesh, he's already got 4 this season, so getting the win today, P1, might be enough to get him across the line towards the end of the season.
Speaking of Geesh, he is purple on this lap and closing up on Adam, who has been a bit of a naughty boy and picked himself up a penalty, which he will not serve until the next lap.
That might give a GTR a little bit of breathing room.
What do you say we kick over to a tyre and fuel update as we start lap 8?
Give me 1 minute, thanks, Carbonboy.
I can give you seconds, not a problem at all.
As we see GTR and Atom, that gap out to about 7/10, and it'll lose you, the penalty, half-second penalty should lose Atom about a second. So you might drop right about even with Geesh here as well. By the time that penalty is served, but GTR should have about a second and a half of breathing room to be able to escape the grasp of Atom and Geesh, the 2 charging Respawn Esports cars. So how about that tyre and fuel update, Carbonboy?
Roger that. So, dropping this little tidbit of information, every single driver is on the racing medium compound.
Racing mediums, and they're dropping
Correct.
lap times within 4/10 of the pole time. What?
A 20... Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
This is why we refer to them as aliens.
What? What?
So...
What happened to their quality time? Huh?
So I'll let you pick your jaw up off the floor. GDR out in front is sitting on about 55% fuel left in the tank. The front right is about 20%, 25% worn, where the rear is only about, well, not even 10% worn. In second place now, Geesh is sitting slightly better for fuel on 60% and has equal wear front and rear of about 25%. Adam is a couple of percent better for fuel, but probably a couple of percent worse for front tyre wear, probably about 30%. About the same distance back to Captain Muffin is about 55% fuel left in the tank, and those front tyres are starting to hate life with about 30% wear, but the rears only have about 15%. Morgan Davey in the 8.6 is sitting on about 55% fuel as well, and with the front tyre on about 25% worn, rear tyre about 15%. Blind Man in the Mercedes is about just over 50% fuel, but also around 50% wear on that front right tyre. So that Mercedes is being very, very harsh on that front tyre. The rear is about 15 to 20% worn. Corey Hack is sitting on about just under 60% fuel and about 25% tyre wear, front and rear. Young Wacky is doing a similar job on his front right tyre as Blind Man in the Mercedes. He's on about 50% wear, just over 50% fuel, and the rear tyre is on about 30% wear, give or take. HC Lewis is bang on half a tank of fuel, has about 30% wear on the front tyre and about 10% on the rear tyre. So those Silvias are very kind on their rear tyres compared to other cars. And finally bringing up the rear is FAF 747 in the Silvia, bang on half a tank of fuel, very close to halfway worn on the front tyres, but on the rear tyre only about 10% wear. So the Silvia, very good on the rear tyres, not so good on the fronts.
Fair enough. And also, for P3, Muffin has made his way past Atom as Atom had it off.
I
Wasn't
was just
P2.
looking at that, and I think Atom has had a bit of a moment. He's got front bumper damage and front right wheel damage, which has just cleared itself off. But that would explain why he's dropped back to P5 from his P3, sorry.
131 on the last lap for Atom there, so something has definitely happened, and in conjunction with that damage, I think he was around turn 6 when that... Oh, was it?
I would say so. I would say it would have to be a left-hander to get the damage on the front right.
Good thing most of the corners
Otherwise,
are
it would be a long way. He would be a lot further back if he spun the car around. So,
but up the front, GTR under a lot of pressure from Geesh now. Goes defensive. Geesh pulls alongside, unable to get that move done into the corkscrew on lap 11. But now that means that GTR will be under a lot of pressure from Geesh over the next couple of corners and laps. GTR won't want to let that position go easily though, as he'll be fighting it till the very end. Onto the front straight. The power of the Supra may be a bit too much, but the Sylvia, it's not a slouch in a straight line either, so he might be able to just defend here, GTR. As Geesh shows the nose, doesn't quite go to the inside. Door was never quite open.
Be worth watching later in the stint as well on these tyres, as the Sylvia will have a lot more rear end grip than the Supra.
Oh,
front end
GTR runs wide. That
front end
really
grip will be
up.
much the same.
As GTR,
rear end grip.
Geesh pulls alongside of GTR. And he's going to try around the outside, but GTR holds the position. Great defensive maneuver from GTR. Sorry to cut you off there, Carbonboy.
That's fine, that's fine.
We have a look on the next level racing action replay. GTR ran wide, Geesh tries around the outside, but unable to do so as GTR holds the inside line there. Question is, how long can GTR hold on to the position for? As Atom reclaims P4 over Morgan Davey. So has Morgan Davey had an off now, or is Atom just... Hang on. Yeah, has Morgan Davey and Atom had a coming together?
I wonder if Morgan's done a little bit of a whoopsie.
133 on that last lap. It looks like it.
There's no damage on the car. I can't see any witness marks, so having not seen anything, there's no damage. I can't see any visible damage on the car. He may have just had a little bit of a whoopsie, which at Laguna Seca is entirely possible and very detrimental to your lap times.
Six seconds off the pace on that last lap, so yeah, something's definitely happened to Morgan there. As GTR and Geesh still holding about that 4/10 gap. Geesh unable to find a way past GTR.
We just have at the back of the field, FAF has gone in for an early pit stop. It seems he has changed onto the racing soft tyres and has not taken any fuel by the looks of it.
Potentially going for the two-stop.
It looks like it. I honestly do not see him doing 18 laps on just over half a tank of fuel. I'd say the two-stop is a definite.
Watching back up to this battle at the top. between GTR and Geesh. It's still sitting about that 4/10 gap. Now begs the question, is Geesh potentially building a save over GTR to mount an attack late on in this race? Letting GTR carve through that fresh air and just tucking into the slipstream and saving his tyres and fuel.
Saving tyres? No. Saving fuel? Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Let's just say it's looking pretty good for the respawn driver come pit stop time at this point. He may not need pass on track.
As Muffin, he's had a bit of a quiet race so far, just sitting in P3 at the moment, which is absolutely magnificent in a field like this, and he's only 4 seconds off the lead.
I mean, to be honest, having a quiet race and sitting in P3, that's pretty much what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Hasn't really been in contention for a battle at all, really, this race, which, when you're sitting in P3, isn't always a bad thing. It means that he can just sort of cruise along, do his own thing, and if anything happens up front between the two leaders, then he'll be able to capitalise and come away with a win.
I am definitely a fan myself of just being left alone to do my own thing. I can totally relate to that. So, you know, he's 3.5 seconds off the back of the GDR Geesh battle. He's got a nice little breathing space of nearly 3 seconds to Adam. So that may change come the pit stop time in the difference of fuel strategy. But I'm keen to see how that works out. Who's going to go for the overcut? Who's going to try an undercut? Who's going to completely run out of tyres and run around on bald bits of canvas?
So, a couple of laps ago, lap 10, it looks like Blind Man has made a mistake, dropping him to effectively the back of the pack at this point. And HC Lewis has also had a very slow lap on the previous lap. So these two just sitting P8 and 9 at the moment. Not too sure what's happened there, but as we've seen throughout tonight, going off track, it bites you hard, and that gravel trap is hard to get out of, so it loses you a lot of time for just a small mistake.
Do you remember what I said about bald bits of... That's pretty much what Blind Man has for a front right tyre. It's not good. It's not good at all. Other drivers who are suffering for tyres are Young Wacky. Captain Muffin's front right isn't looking particularly great, but it's not as bad as the others. Yeah, basically there's just a couple of drivers who are having a very bad time for tyres. I actually thought the Mercedes was better on its tyres than what I'm seeing tonight, but well, let's face it, it's not the first time I've been wrong. Won't be the last either.
Geesh is definitely just sitting behind and conserving because... Oh, Muffin's in!
He has pulled the trigger, he's had enough of those mediums. Like, I've done 16 laps, get them off.
Wants a fresh pair of those good feeling rubbery softs.
Blind Man has also pulled the pin and decided I've had enough. I don't want to drive around on canvas anymore. I'm going to get me some of those soft tyres.
As Geesh, he pulls to the outside coming into turn 5. Can't quite get the move done. So even though he's been sitting behind GTR pretty much this entire first stint, he's still showing a little bit of aggression, maybe just to give GTR the hurry up. A little bit of psychological intimidation potentially, Just trying to make GTR use more and more of his tyres and fuel.
Oh, certainly. There's nothing wrong with just sort of making turn, just showing the nose, letting the driver in front of you know you're there. The more you can give them to think about, aside from their racing line, their braking markers, the better, as they both pull into the pits. And there's that fuel difference, just under 10%.
Absolutely.
So that'll be 2 seconds in the pits. As Atom comes into the pits, as well as Corey Hack. Morgan Davies, in true Morgan Davies style, continues on for another lap. To be honest, in the 8.6, I wouldn't have done that. With the tyre wear he's got on the mediums, he could have... who am I kidding? Like I know better than a Div 1 driver in terms of strategy.
As these guys have started to put fuel into their tanks. Interesting to see how this plays out. So GTR comes out behind Geesh. But it's not a whole lot. Geesh has more fuel in the tank, yes. But that means that GTR won't be able to push as hard as Geesh. As Adam comes out with even less fuel. And he's under pressure from Captain Muffin and almost immediately loses that position.
I think GDR might be counting on just getting up into Geesh's slipstream to help him overcome that slight fuel deficit, because he did use more fuel in that first stint, albeit Geesh was in his slipstream a lot. So if he can return the favour, he can pull some time back as well as knock off that couple of percent of fuel difference. But trying to do it on cold tyres, it's not great.
1% in the tank, and Morgan Davey goes around again. As FAF, he's slotted into P8 after the pit stops, but he also took that extremely early stop on lap 11. So he's going to have, unless he's going for the 2-stop, which he probably is, he's going to get he actually goes on.
He definitely will. He is definitely going to have the 2-stop because he's on a quarter of a tank right now.
And he has fallen off the track there, which we'll have a look at the next action replay. Looked like, yeah, he just missed that apex there into the third last corner and ended up in the gravel trap, running wide at the hairpin as well, getting overtaken by the line man.
Worth keeping an eye on is the Atom Muffin battle, because while Atom is currently purple by a 10th through this first sector and has the track position, I wonder if he's gone a little bit too much of a short fuel during that pit stop.
He put 62 in, whereas the next least was GTR with 63. We saw Geesh and Muffin around that 65% mark. So, I mean, that extra 3% of fuel, it's not a whole lot, but it might just be enough to be able to get Muffin across the line. But he is 2/10 purple. I mean, most of these guys are going to be purple as they are on the soft compound as opposed to the mediums, which the current fastest lap was set on. As they come to the final corner, Geesh leading the way. As he crosses the line, it goes purple at 26.6. That would have been good enough for the pole time. Just a quick side note. However, they are on lower fuel loads as opposed to earlier in the qualifying.
So what do you say? Will we see a 25 race lap?
Probably not. That's a long way to go. 6.5 tenths. Interestingly enough, Muffin didn't actually set his personal quickest lap yet, despite being on the softs. Very slow start to the stint for Muffin, but as I said earlier in the Div 3 race, You want to bring those tyres up extremely slowly. The slower you bring up those tyres, the more performance they'll give you and more life they'll give you. So Muffin took the slightly earlier stop than the guys ahead, I believe. So possibly trying to make those tyres last. Yeah, he was the first person into the pits. And trying to make those tyres last. Just taking a couple of slow laps, and now he's fully in the groove, able to push that rubber to the max, and that gap to Adam already coming down.
He's also 1/10 purple coming through the corkscrew.
Into the final corner now. Muffin on the power. Is he able to set a fastest lap? Approaches the start finish. Yes, he does. Holy moly, a 26.4. Very rapid for Muffin. And has he treated that rubber the way it likes it? And if so, then is it enough to get himself that podium once again? Meanwhile, the gap between GTR and Geesh is 3 seconds.
That's compared to Geesh, who ran 26.6 on that previous lap, a 6.59 compared to his previous 6.51. So only 8 thousandths of a second separating his 2 laps. So, I mean, consistency, gotta love it, especially when it's that quick.
Exactly. Would rather run the same lap time if it's my personal best for 10 laps in a row than run a lap time that's the exact same, that's 2 seconds off the pace, eh?
Most definitely, as Geesh is 3/10 purple coming out of the corkscrew.
Oh my goodness.
We are getting dangerously close to a 25 here.
Imagine if I reverse commentator's curse the 25.
I think the drivers have the stream on in the background. They've heard us and gone,
oh,
right,
no way! Jeez!
I reckon Geesh has the stream on as audio in the background and has just decided, right, stuff you guys. Nice work.
Oh, that's funny. I don't think we'll see a 25 tonight, by the way, as it's 6.5 tenths to go, and then he just goes out and what does he do? Gets a 25.
Well,
wow.
I'm glad it was you who got shown up and not me for once.
Thank you,
so
Geesh.
do we have any battles going on? It all seems a little bit spread out. I'm looking at a 9 tenths between HC Lewis in P8 and Blind Man in P9.
FAF's in the pits for his second stop as well.
Yep, he's on the fuel light, so I'm not sure how the 2 stop was going to work out, but to be fair, he had a bit of a rough first stint with a slight off-track excursion, so I suppose at that point in the race, you just say stuff it and give something else a go. You know, for worst case scenario, he could have a red hot crack at getting the fastest lap and at least score a point or 2 out of that.
Absolutely. I mean, being 48 seconds off the next closest competitor, and but also that being said, you've got the leaders coming up, and when you get those yellow flags, you've got to give way, you've got to lift off. So
blue flags.
That's true.
Yes.
Don't know why they would be showing
not the
yellow flags. Yeah. But once you get those blue flags, you have to lift off and let the leaders through. So that might compromise any attempt that he wants to have at a fastest lap. But his current best lap, it's 2 seconds off. And that was on the medium tyre. Or that wasn't the soft tyre, so I don't know. It's going to be a tough ask for FAF to see if we can get this fastest lap, but let's see what happens. Keep tabs on it.
But credit to him for soldiering on nonetheless.
Absolutely, you always love to see it. Some
Oh,
good valuable
Adam has
practice.
been naughty and picked himself up a half-second penalty, which he's going to have to serve this lap. So that will drop him well back off GDR and just give Muffin that little bit of hope that he can catch him in the next 7 laps.
Yeah, that gap dropping down to 1.6, 1.5 it stagnates out to, so that's about 1.2 seconds lost there for Atom. Can Muffin hold on to the back of him? As Muffin is down on his own time. We're on lap 24 at the moment, so 6 and a bit laps left for these guys.
It's looking like Geesh has just decided to, what's the phrase? Bugger off, as he's got 5.5 seconds back to GTR.
As the blue flags are coming through for FAF as well, to allow Geesh through. Giving way yet because there's still a little bit of a gap, so I'd imagine for FAF wanting to complete out the lap and make the transition as smooth as possible.
There's still a fair distance between Geesh and himself, so he doesn't quite have to get out of it just yet. I'm keeping an eye on it, but yep, he's done the right thing. He's backed off after T1. T2, sorry. He's gotten well out of it. As the gap between Adam and GDR is dead on a second now, and the gap back to Captain Muffin has gone back out to 2.5 seconds.
Bit of a wake-up call for Adam then, that penalty.
Possibly. He's quite low on fuel for what I would have expected, but again, I'm not going to try and tell a Div 1 driver that they're wrong in terms of their fuel or tyre strategy. It's just, don't mind me taking notes here.
To be fair, he did put the least amount of fuel in the tank out of the people around him, so it's not out of the ordinary to say that he may have less fuel on board than the others. Then starts to make
Corey Hack and Young Wakey are having a bit of a ring-a-ding coming into the corkscrew.
Old Wakey gets alongside Corey Hack here.
Young Wakey.
Ah, yes, that's right.
the other Wakey.
Too many Wakeys to keep up with.
AKA the bloody fast kid. Oh, as he gets a little bit sideways coming onto the main straight. Corey Hack certainly has his hands full coming into turn 2, according to our beloved track map.
Dives down the inside, a little bit of contact, and Wakey, not too sure about that one, but they continue on for now.
Yeah, look, I'm not touching any of that. Oh, as Wakey runs wide, finds a little bit of dirt.
As the gap between GTR and Atom down to just 7/10.
Oh dear.
Get back to Muffin, upwards of 3 seconds now, so yeah, I don't know. It's a tough ask for Muffin if he wants to try and get across the line here in a podium place. So it would be his second podium of the season after his P3 at Interlagos. Oh, runs wide. That might be a penalty, half-second penalty for Muffin potentially. There was green in between the tyres, but I think he's gotten away with it.
So, something just to keep an eye on with the Young Wakey Corey Hack battle. Yes, Young Wakey made it past Corey Hack, but Corey has much better tyres than Young Wakey does, so he may just be able to hang in there and if young Wacky's not careful, his tyres are going to absolutely fall off the cliff in the next lap or so. And that could let Corey Hack sneak back on through. Because there is 4 laps to go, including the one they're on.
As that gap down to just half a second between these two. GTR and Atom. The battle continues, and Atom is within striking range of the Hooncorp driver now. Through the penultimate corner, barreling down to the final hairpin. I don't think Atom is close enough at this point to GTR to get a move done. But holy moly, that gap to G up front is now at 8 seconds. How? What?
How? Geesh's last few laps has been the fastest lap of a 25.9. 26.3, 26.9, 26.5, 26.9, 26.6, 27 flat. Compared to GTR running
quicker than everybody else. Like
running 27.4, 27.1, 26.8, 26.9, 27.5, 27.4, 27.5, 27.4, 27.6. So there's 6 to 7 tenths a lap there.
As the sun has started to go down here at Laguna Seca, and we're starting to get a nice sunset going on as the afternoon turns into evening in the late stages of this race.
It does look beautiful, but in the practice I was doing during the week, it does look pretty, but that sun setting does make your brake markers that little bit more difficult to see. So it is quite easy to completely cock up a corner.
Starting to see a couple of headlights on all the cars popping on now as the sun has set behind the mountains. This battle for P2 still raging on with just 2 laps remaining. Just 7.6 kilometers remaining in this race.
Just a note, the top 3 drivers, that is the podium, are all on the fuel light right now and have been for a little bit. So, not sure if everyone is going to make it home.
It'll be tight, especially for these two, GTR and Atom. As Atom has the run on GTR heading up towards the corkscrew now. Is he able to get it done? Tries around the outside. Doesn't work there. Has to slot him behind for I think the 3rd time again. Has the run. Oh! Oh! Contact! Oh, but
He has been the right. He has done the right thing there. He has just backed off after that little tap.
As these guys start the final lap of the race, lap 30 of 30. Heading down towards turn 1 now. And
Ooh,
into
Morgan
turn
Davey, Captain Muffin. Final turn.
Oh, can Morgan Davey get the switch back? No, he can't. And we see Wakey and Corey Hack still going at it as well. On the final lap, there's 3 battles on track.
You keep an eye on the GDR Adam battle. I will keep an eye on Morgan and Captain Muffin because Captain Muffin has no front tyre left.
Can GTR hold on for just another 2 kilometers? That's all there is left in this one. As the gap to G, she's almost out to 10 seconds. On the run up to the corkscrew, this might be Adam's last opportunity to get a pass. But he doesn't get a great exit. And Morgan Davies got past Muffin.
Oh, not
To run
quite
up the
just
hill.
yet.
Oh, is he able to hold it? Yes, he is. Gets
does.
P4 from Muffin. As Geesh rounds the final corner, looks like he'll take P1 on the road as he crosses the line in P1, and GTR will hold on for second. It's going to be a drag race to the line. He doesn't get the greatest exits. Atom on the run down to the finish line. It's going to be neck and nose, run out of fuel. Oh no!
He has.
Oh dear,
GTR
Adam
has
takes
run out of
P2. That's a 1-2 for Respawn Esports, and Morgan Davey rounds the final corner. And Corey Hack's made his way past Young Wakey as well. Morgan Davey 4th, Muffin 5th. It'll be Corey Hack and Young Wakey. Oh, 700ths of a second. Lewis
That was
will
a tyre
take P9.
deficit coming into it.
And that's all she wrote.
Young Wacky just had absolutely no front tyre left, and I'd say that's what let Corey Hack make his way past.
That's gut-wrenching for GTR, losing the position on the line. Bit of a fuel miscalculation there, and just needed that extra little bit of fuel, but it wasn't enough for GTR. So this is how they lined up in the end there. GTR takes not pole position, he takes the race win and the fastest lap with a 25.9. That's 4/10 quicker than anybody else in tonight's race. Atom takes P2 to make it a Respawn Esports 1-2 finish. And GTR still hunting that elusive 13th Sector 1 victory. Has to settle for P3. As I think that's 30 career podiums for GTR now. But Morgan Davey takes P4 in the 86. Wowee, what a drive from Morgan Davey. Captain Muffin has to settle for P5 after staring at a potential race win. Comes home just with a P5. Corey Hack in a P6 as Young Wakey finishes in P7, gaining a couple of positions in the latter stages of that race. Lewis in P8, Blind Man P9, and the debutante FAF will come home in P10 to finish off that one. So, well, all the drama came down to just the final lap. That we had nothing pretty much all race long until the final lap, when 3 raging battles continued right up till the checkered flag. Huh.
I believe that is what they call a slow burn. Just simmering along, just quietly doing its thing until the later stages of the race, where everyone's strategies and tyre wear started to come together, and wow, it was actually kind of tough there for the last 5 laps to just keep a tab on what was going on. But for everyone who's still around in the chat, could you fire in your driver of the day, aka the Womble Award nominations? I'm going to start off with, I'm going to give my nomination to Corey Hack from RMR. I think he just had a very solid event. Didn't particularly put a foot wrong, ran his strategy, ran a really good race, and yeah, I just think he put in the most solid effort this round.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think I'm going to give mine to Morgan Davey. I mean, P4 in the 8-6. That's just a brilliant drive, no denying it. And he played all of his cards right. Made up, what was it? 5 positions in the oh no, I'm thinking of Lewis, but he still had a mega start and just held on to it, and yeah, came home with a very respectable finish, Morgan Davey. As we look to the chat, Robert Rice says driver of the day Geesh, driver of the day Morgan for Debrev, driver of the day Morgan Davey from Blind Man. So we have a couple of submissions there, and as Carbonboy said, make sure to chuck your driver of the day submissions down below, and we'll read him out. Bumcrack Morgan driver of the day. It's just, I think it was just a great drive from Morgan, and he's deserved all of these driver of the day nominations.
That was a fairly decent drive, to be fair, in a in a car that's it sits in the shadow of its Toyota brother, the Supra. It's also a very, speaking from my own personal experience, it's a very difficult car to get the best out of. The Supra is a lot easier to get maximum performance out of. It also bites. So, I mean, I'm not saying the Supra doesn't take any less skill to drive quickly. It's just, at least for me, it's easier to get the most performance out of that. So for someone to consistently get the maximum performance out of the 8.6 lap after lap without the tail-happy little bugger spitting you out of a corner backwards, yeah, full credit to them.
And we always know that Morgan likes a bit more of that slippery, sort of aggressive style of car, and he's been proving it this season, driving the 8.6 to the absolute limits. As we see a couple of more Driver of the Day nominations is coming through in the chat. Driver of the Day, Morgan from Dadson, the prospector himself, and then David Levenspiel says Driver of the Day to Geesh, which Geesh, I mean, you can never discredit Geesh. He's always on top of his game and taking these race wins, driving quicker than anybody could ever expect. We saw it last season with Andrew, and it seems like looks like Geesh now driving under the same organization affiliation as Andrew as well, mind you. Recently becoming a member of Distinct. And now he's just shown up this season and absolutely schooled the rest of the grid and takes 5 wins from... Wait, is it 5 wins?
7 rounds.
Is it 5 wins or 6 wins that he's got so far? Hang on.
I really wish I knew that off the top of my head. I'll be honest and say I definitely do not.
Okay, well, we'll have a quick look, but I think, I think aside from the round where he was absent, of course, Watkins Glen last round, I think Geesh has taken every win. Oh, no. It is 5 wins. Willow Springs, he did not win either of those races. That was Woody and Morgan Davey.
Morgan,
wins
I
on that
believe.
occasion. Yeah. So that's 5 wins for Geesh, 1 away from the record equaling 6 that we've seen, the most wins in a season. Unfortunately, after Willow Springs and Watkins Glen, he can't go in the running for the highest win percentage of the season, which is, everybody knows, belongs to Brocky after his awesome Season 2 of Sector 1, where he won every single race. The only ever clean sweep we have ever seen here in Sector 1 history. So, just more records going to be broken this season in Sector 1. Expect the times to tumble and the records to drop. As we see, Drive the Day Morgan from Ellie Foster. Geesh sitting back to pass in the pit was Division 1 smart. It was absolutely mastermind strategy from Geesh to be able to come home with the race win. So, anything else to say, Carbonboy, before we sign it off this night?
No bias there from young Ellie. No bias at all.
So anything else
Although I'd
to
be
say before we sign it off, Carbonboy?
As always, thank you very much to everybody for joining in and hopefully clicking the like and subscribe buttons. I don't think we've plugged that just yet, but there we go. Done it now. It's been a pleasure as always.
As that's Lenocis, Carbonboy, and Karen signing us off tonight here for round 7 of the Sector 1 World Tour here at Laguna Seca. Thanks for coming, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the racing, and join us this Thursday for the Community Series here at Laguna Seca, where we have we're bringing the GT3 Genesis cars. Then next Sunday, we have Group B, where we do the main game all over again. The Group B circus comes to town here at Laguna Seca with Divisions 2 and 4. taking place here on the roads in California. So thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll sign it off here. Goodbye.